Rachel, thank you so much for being part of one of these conversations in which we're exploring what it is to live out our faith in all that we do through the week. Just tell us a little bit about yourself and about what a normal week looks like for you.
We live in the Forest of Dean. I don't work at the moment, so a lot of my week involves doing housework and cooking and things like that. But I'm also a fair trade advocate, so I spend a lot of time thinking about fair trade, buying fair trade products, and then selling them. So that's been slightly different during lockdown, so a lot of that's gone online. And our dining room has become a fair trade shop. So people order products and then I bag them up and then deliver them. But obviously that's making a big difference to people around the world.
And thank you. I need to say thank you for the Christmas cards, which I was able to buy last time I was with you in church. It says that's a few months ago. And it seems to me that that's something which would connect really significantly to your faith. Why is it important to you to be doing that from your Christian perspective?
One of my favourite verses is Micah 6:8, and that's what does God require of you? To act justly, to love mercy, to walk humbly. And I think for me, fair trade really kind of lives that out, that we're thinking about people around the world, that we want to treat them justly, that we want to love them, and that we want to kind of walk with God as God walks with them as well. So for me, it's very much faith-centered whilst wanting to kind of live out Jesus' love for everybody around the world.
Thank you. It is an extraordinary, powerful verse, that one, isn't it? It's one of my one that speaks to me also, and that sense about the simplicity, but the significance of the things that we do as we live out our lives. Can you think of a particular time where your faith has made a difference? I suppose it's made a difference in your taking on this particular responsibility, but is there a particular moment or instance you could think where your faith has changed or impacted a decision or a situation you've had to face?
Well, moving to the Forest of Dean was a big decision about faith. We didn't feel settled in a church and we really felt called. The first time we drove into Cinderford, we just felt a real calling about being here. But I think then on top of that, I was working as a vet. That's what I've trained to do. That is all I've ever wanted to do since I was 4. And it just became obvious that actually that wasn't necessarily God's calling on my life. And I gave that up and wanted to focus on more being able to commit my life to doing something that seemed to mean more, as far as not that veterinary science doesn't mean anything, but just mean more in what I could do to further God's kingdom. So I think fair trade has kind of been part of that for me.
I think, Rachel, it's true, isn't it? That sense that God calls each of us, God knows us by name and calls us to those things that are right for us. And thank you for your attentiveness to God's call within that and responding to that. And thank you for this conversation.
It's okay. Thank you for asking.
Thank you.